现场以及屏幕前的观众朋友们，大家下午好，我是今天的主持人赤小兔，你们好吗？欢迎我们的星际指挥官们来到现场。那么我们这边是2026斗鱼嘉年华星际争霸传奇邀请赛的比赛直播现场。通过昨天的一轮较量，我们今天的4强选手也是已经诞生了，分别是我们的嘎姐、Neeb、TY 以及奥利维拉。 选手们已经蓄势待发了，今天就会决出最后的总冠军。那我们先要有请出今天开场的2位选手，让我们掌声有请嘎姐以及 Neeb。 好的，欢迎2位选手，先让他们跟观众朋友们一起来打个招呼吧。
Say hi to our fans.
Hello everyone， 你好，大家好。
Hello everyone. I hope you have a good time watching the games today.
我很期待今天的比赛，对。
哇，欢迎2位。那么其实这2位的话也是老对手、老朋友了，之前在美洲区经常打互有胜负，私下也是关系特别好的朋友。今天站在我们中国线下赛的赛场上，心情会有什么不一样的吗
You two are old opponents and have a lot of fight in NA area. And you two have also have good relationship. And what's your mood or what's your emotional at this moment?
So I actually checked last night, and Neeb is the person I've played most in tournaments out of everyone. He's also the player I lost against the most out of everyone. So today, I'm hoping for some revenge.
就是说他虽然跟他打了好多次了，但是他其实输得多，然后他今天想要报仇啊，想要来一个 revenge， 然后看看今天能不能干回来。
哎，我们也问一下 Neeb 选手有什么想说的吗
Neeb, what do you want to say about this question?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a new patch, so anything can happen. I've won historically, but I think Scarlett has a good chance this time.
他说，因为现在是新版本嘛，一切都还没有定，所以呢，他没有对自己抱有太高的期望啊，就说这次嘎姐可能是一个好机会对他复仇。
那其实之前你不是已经打过 PBZ 了，也是很轻松取胜了嘛？问一下他觉得当前版本打虫族怎么样？感觉
？You have played PBZ tournament first at yesterday, and what's your feeling about PBZ in new patch?
I think it's very new, so there's a lot of stuff that Zergs don't know yet, and I prepared some things, so I hope I can show them in these games, and maybe it's good, maybe it's not, but we'll see.
他说现在一切新版本，所以都还未知，很多重组的流程都还没有确定。但是这对大家都来说都是一个机遇啊，然后也许他准备了一些流程，也许会有用，也许可能效果不太好，谁知道呢？让我们看看。
让我们拭目以待。那嘎姐的话，其实到现在为止还没有打过 ZvP 哦，就战术还没有暴露过，有没有准备一些特殊的战术来面对今天的比赛呢
？In the new patch, you have not played any ZvP at now, and you don't have opponent your any techniques. So, do you have any great prepare? Today for ZvP match?
Well, I think this patch, this new version, it's a lot easier to beat Protoss than before. So I did prepare a few strategies, and I have high confidence for today.
OK， 他觉得这个版本的话，神族可能就没有那么强了，因为上个版本他说神族很强。所以今天可能是一个好的机会啊，他准备了一些流程来那个进行那个 ZvP， 所以说这个新版本是一个好的机会，我们来看看。
今天的这场比赛一定会非常的精彩，我们把掌声再次给到2位选手，期待他们给我们带来一场精彩的对决吧。哇，好，那接下来就要把画面交给我们最专业的解说席了。
好的，欢迎回来啊！我来说。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, welcome back to the Douyu Cup. Douyu Cup 2026, day 4, the final day of the tournament. I'm, of course, your host, ZvP, with you and joined by these amazing players and by the people in chat as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. To the final day here of Douyu Cup. For those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, this is a big Legends tournament happening in China. By Legends event, I mean that we have brought back players from years gone by. Players like Innovation, TY, Scarlett, Neeb, Trap, Impact, Oliveira, and many, many others. Fantasy was here, which is crazy. Fantasy Sue and many others, and of course we've been running the event for the past couple of days. Now we're here in the semi-finals. We have 3 series tonight, 2 semi-finals, both best of 5s, and a best of 7 grand finals. Let's go, Bible, let's go. So again, we do have 3 matches available here. We have 4 players left. Let's catch up on that bracket. Un momento, papi. There we go. Bam, un momentos. Here we go. You can see the bracket yourselves. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to get a link to the Wikipedia page. But Scarlett, she had an amazing series last night against Sue, by the way. Had a very amazing series. Took Sue down 3-2. Meanwhile, Neeb took down Jeshi 3-0. And now, bam, they're facing off against each other. They're going to be facing off in that best of 5. Vidas are done. Game 1 is going to be on Rorschach. Game 2, Rainfall. Oh my god. Game 3, I believe Adatoni's Edge was in the mix as well. But they like to switch away from the veto spap, yeah. But I'm a little bit shocked here. Rainfall and Rorschach as the first 2 games in the series. Those are the most aggressive maps in the map pool. And I have to wonder what Neeb has ready for us. Shout out to our 2 players. Of course, they did just provide some interviews. And Neeb said that he has some cheeky builds up his sleeve. And remember, he doesn't have to hold back. Who's on the other side of the bracket? A Terran player. So Neeb does not have to hold back here in PvZ. Likewise, Scarlett, I'm curious how she's been preparing for Neeb as well. They just mentioned that, of course, it's an NA rematch. They both have a lot of history together as friends and as competitors. And we'll see. We'll see what we are able to showcase on the new patch. Let's go. As we are about to jump into our fresh series. Let's go. Let us go. I also do want to apologize. I do see some people showed up a little bit earlier. The stream did go live 1 hour later today, just because there are less matches. But here we go. In the bottom left-hand corner of Rorschach, we have the Canadian Zerg. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have her opponents. We have the American Protoss, the Red Protoss. Representing on side, it is Neeb. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. And here we go. We're jumping into our fresh best of 5. Into our fresh series. Un momento. As I do open up our música. There we go. But here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions. Predictions are open, and place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats. Coming into this, I want to lean towards Scarlett here. You know, the patch is one thing, but also Scarlett's been much more active for longer as well. At the same time, Neeb does have that historical record over Scarlett. I think regardless of score, I want to see a back and forth series. I want to see a game 4. I want to see a game 5. I want us to go the distance. But here we go. First things first, the probe will block the expand. Scarlett going to be opening up with what looks to be a hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of... Oh, no, never mind. The drone is sent across the map. We're going for the hatch block. Now with this, remember, there's not all in. There's not all in. This is a way to be aggressive early on. It's a way to delay the economy of your opponent, disrupt their build, and get into a macro game from there. This should be a hatch before a gas pool. You see 1 hatch at home and 1 across the map. Ooh, is this going to be a gate expand here from Neeb? Yeah, we'll deny the hatchery. Scarlett does try to... Oh, let's try to sit up here. Yeah, trying to block the cyber core, and I believe won't be able to. Yeah, won't be able to. Gas back at home. Spawning pool back at home. The plan was to delay, but the plan does fail, and Neeb is able to set up nicely back at home. Meanwhile, Scarlett going for a delayed hatch gas pool. Ah, the gas deal. But again, delayed hatch gas pool here from Scarlett, going for the gas seal across the map, just getting whatever she can with that drone, getting whatever value she can, and from here the game will settle down, and we'll see how our players will tech up. Again, what we expect out of someone like Neeb is Stargate play, but what did we mention earlier? Welcome to Rorschach. Rorschach is a very small map of the map pool. Short rush distance by ground, all-ins are more favored here, whether it's Roach all-ins or whether it's Blink Stalker-based all-ins instead, or even Soul Train-esque all-ins. We're expecting aggression from our players, and we'll see who's going to be the initial aggressor. Who's it going to be? Vámonos. Vámonos. Yeah, so now we are going to be opening up. Soon getting into our take of choice. Soon, TM. Likewise, I believe Scarlett does pull out. Yes, Scarlett pulls out a gas, only getting link speed, not rushing into, say, like a Bailey nest or rushing into a lair, just running up for the time being. What we're really waiting for here is the early to mid game to see the tech of choice from the Protoss and to see whether Scarlett goes Roach Horn first, Eva Chamber first, or lair first. I'm waiting for that tech. Now Observer just pointing out lack of gas. Third base on the way now for Scarlett. Adept does poke in. Yeah, it does poke in, does pull away. There's that Stargate opener here by Neeb. Is within range of the Overlord, so Scarlett is now aware of the tech of choice. Is where it's going to be the initial Oracle. There's a chance we might even go Void Ray instead to hunt down Overlords and deny vision. Adaptation shade into the main. So far, catching out one Ling. Yeah, 1, 2 Lings are now getting a third Ling. And do we get into the mineral line? Not quite, not yet, but we do somewhat trade here against the Zerglings. Maybe one Adept may go down, almost gets surrounded. Shade does complete, and Adepts, they attempt to get away. Okay, oh, can we get a drone? Oh, Neeb goes further in. And looks like we'll get one drone goes down. Nice pick up here by Neeb. Neeb does shade away, does race back home, and we have confirmation it is Void Ray first, not Oracle. The plan here is to deny vision, deny scouting. Scarlett is going to be in the dark, and this means that behind this, Neeb can be cheeky and go for a second Stargate into Mass Void Ray, can rush into a Fleet Beacon, into a Mothership Rush, or can even go into a Twilight Council, into a Charge Base all in, or can even play Standard as well. There are options here for Neeb. He does have options. Let's go. Yeah, it's from here. We're just hunting down Overlords. Adept does in the shade. So far, poking in. And does find some damage here. Gets another drone. Yeah, one more drone goes down. Twilight Council's on the way. Now, that is an early Twilight Council out of Neeb. Bear that in mind. So we're leaning more towards a Void Ray into Glaive Adepts or Void Ray into maybe a Charge Base all in. I say that with gases being taken and with still continued mining, I'm leaning more towards Blink. Sorry, leaning more towards Glaives. Or this could even be Blink as well. We did mention actually earlier that 8-gate Blink has made a return, but there it is. It is going to be Glaive Adepts out of Neeb. Oh, as the Gateway Explosion has all been scouted. Scarlett is aware that something may be wrong here just because of the initial Void Ray, but is still playing blind. And so far, that's going to be a 4-gate setup at a Neeb. Now, I should emphasize, it's not an all-in. It's not an all-in, but it is very committed, it is very aggressive. And if Scarlett doesn't open Roaches, Scarlett's going to be in trouble. Okay, there it is. Roach Horn gets thrown down. That's a 550 Roach Horn timing, though. Is that too late? It's going to take a while to really kick in. It will take a while. Here, Neeb is amassing. I believe Scarlett hasn't seen or confirmed anything yet. She's still joining up, making a handful of Zerglings, which will help a little bit here. But I still have my concerns. Oh, this is without Warp Gate. Oh, okay. Interesting. Technically faster production. Ling moves in. And Scarlett should confirm. Yeah, just as the move out occurs. But remember, we're on Rorschach. Show Rush this is by ground. There's not a lot of time to react. Roach production has begun. Scarlett throws down a Spire. Ooh, there's 4 Roaches on the way. But the Adepts, they're already halfway across the map. They're already past the halfway mark. They're coming. The Adepts are coming. Yeah, behind this into Fleet Beacon. Oh, he's crazy. Stasis Trap into the main base. Sorry, into the third. Spore is out of position. Adepts, they go for the dive. And what do we go for? Do we push in towards the natural? Do we settle here for queens? So far, trading well with Zerglings. So far, it does trade well. Shade doesn't get past. Once again, nice stasis wrap though. Yeah, it was a nice stasis, but no major drone damage. So far, Scarlett has some very good crisis management. Minimizing losses. And it is going to be, 2 more Stargates. So it's going to be triple. Are we going into a carrier rush? Okay, let's go. I mean, the issue here, whatever Neeb is going for, the problem here is that we already have a Spire. Remember, Scarlett already threw down the Spire, is already setting up for Corruptors, or even Mutas. Adepts, they do change into the mineral lines, but no target firing. Despite that, the queen does fall, and we do still get a couple of drone kills. And 9 drones going down. Getting it to 9 drones. As I say, 9, getting it to 14 workers. 16 drones going to be going down. 16 drone kills against the entire mineral line, and behind this, we're going to Mass Phoenix. I mean, he just got the spy. True, he saw the spy with the adepts. Neeb knows. Mass Phoenix on the way. Scarlett is not aware. Thankfully, I don't believe Scarlett's made any mutants yet, but I'm concerned. Yeah, the concern is there. Again, that was critical damage. Scarlett does rejoin up to 82, but again, Neeb has had more of a stable economy for longer. 76 workers. I'm still waiting for an extra wave of Phoenixes. And this is heavily reliant on Scarlett actually committing into meter play, but that hasn't happened. Uh-oh. What are we going to do? Lift up one roach at a time? Scarlett, there's a window. There's potential. Scarlett moving out, going into just mass roachling. Phoenixes are revealed. Forcing out Corruptors. And confirms the carrier production. So it is going to be the carrier rush out of Neeb, but again, Scarlett has time to react. Can Neeb slow the game down? That's the real question here. I mean, Scarlett's already is about to max out. Scarlett should be able to commit across. And look to end the game early. So far, getting into 5 drone kills. Roaches, they commit. What's on the ground for Neeb, if anything? Yeah, there's so little left over for Neeb after the adept aggression. To go into mass sky shots like this is just so risky. As roaches, they rotate. We're getting into what, 14 Corruptors? That's a lot of Corruptors. And it's going to be a tough ult. It's going to be a very tough ult here for Neeb. Corruptors are going to be moving in. Ooh, already one-shotting one of the Phoenixes. That's coming to the slow zone. Carriers, they move in as well. Initially a better start here for Neeb, but when Cloak finishes, Corruptors, they can just go to town. They're already focusing on another couple of Phoenixes. Cloak does run out. Scarlett taking more bases. And again, it's just a very awkward army here from Neeb. Very awkward. Yeah, Scarlett commits. Bailey's roll in. They head into the mineral line. Neeb does pull away, but probes are still going to go down. Oof. Losing up to 10 probes. 11 probe kills. Neeb may just be forced to counterattack. Flux Main's almost done. 4th base is denied. This might just be it. I'm still not convinced by this army. I'll be honest. It still feels very awkward. It's a very awkward composition. Carrier defense back at home. Neeb moving out across the map. Does catch out some of the Corruptors that have stationed into the mineral line. But again, are there enough Void Rays here? There's only, what, 3 Void Rays left? Okay, nice Cloak. Cloak is activated. Once again, Corruptors to get forced back. Neeb breaking into the 3rd. Should get the expansion at least. And do we have enough Corruptors? That's 12. Okay, 12 Corruptors left. Does focus on one of the carriers. Gets one. But this Prismatic Alignment. Oh my god, Prismatic Alignment is brutal. And so many Corruptors go down. The lasers, Pappy. The Void Rays. Yeah, Void Rays, they reign supreme. There's no good answer. I thought that maybe there would be enough Corruptors to punish the Voids as drones, they reveal the gold. They reveal the gold base. But again, the Corruptor count was just not there. Not enough. Not against a handful of Void Rays. And with that, Neeb is snowballing out of control, breaks through the main army, pushing in towards the natural. Has reached critical mass. We're back to 2021, Pappy the Void Rays. 13 drone kills, and with that, Neeb is done. Neeb is done. Neeb is snowballing out of control, broken the natural base, activates Cloak as well. GG gets called, and Neeb will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Neeb again being cheeky initially, going for the Masquerade Adept, killed 16 drones. 16 drones went down to the Adepts, and I was concerned that the carrier rush follow-up would not really be too ideal. Same with the Phoenixes. Neeb did go Mass Phoenix to shut down the mutas, but there weren't any mutas, as there was nothing done with the Spire. And I assumed that Scarlett would break the 4th base at least. Sorry, I say 4th. No, yeah, the 4th base. I thought that she would be able to break the 4th base, cripple the economy, and then build up Mass Corruptor. But we saw that Neeb actually held on to the 4th. May have lost some workers, but did hold on to the expansion, was able to shut down the army, was able to chase down the Corruptors as well. And we saw that once that fight occurred, it instantly triggered the counterattack. Like, Neeb did not turtle up, he just pushed immediately after winning a fight, and it all just snowballed from there. Snowballed out of control. I still wasn't convinced that there were enough Void Rays to allow for that to happen, but apparently so. Apparently, what, 5 Void Rays were enough to break through the main army. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Neeb takes a lead. Takes a lead in the series, and we're getting ready for game number 2. Going to be loading into the other small map, Rainfall. I should also emphasize that because this map is so small, it allowed for a slow and typically immobile Skytoss army to get across the map very quickly, right? So that's the advantage of these smaller maps, is that these pushes happen so fast, even with an otherwise immobile composition. Like, it gets across the map very quickly and in time to punish. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into our next game. We're going to be loading into Rainfall. Let's go. Here we go. So we're going to be settling in. So chat, very off topic, what's the hotkey to switch the bottom center panel in a replay? Bottom center? We'll get into it. As in the bottom right hand corner, we do have Rainfall. Also, of Rainfall, we do have Scarlett, the Canadian Zerg. And in the top left hand corner, we have the American Protoss player. It is Neeb for onside. If you want to switch it, I believe it's Control X, Control Shift X, something along those lines. But bearing in mind that we are casting from a clean feed, so if you're insinuating that we like flip them, like unfortunately we don't have the power to do so right now. Smooch. Oh. There you go. As from here, we're going to be opening up. And once again, welcome to Rainfall. Rainfall is a smaller map of the map pool. Short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored. And you saw last game that on these smaller maps, after a solid defense, bam, you can just counterattack. You can counterattack, you get across the map so quickly. And we'll see how Neeb will adjust coming into this. Same with Scarlett as well. Remember that Neeb last game did go for a very fast Twilight Council into Glaives, into Mass Glaive Adepts. I don't expect to see that build again in this series, though. Like, that's typically something you do once in a series, not something you rely upon. Cloak was huge that game. It was like there were a lot of key moments where Neeb was very careful, not just with Cloak, but with his slow zone as well, right? The slow zone and the Cloak both used at very critical moments just to make sure that the army was being punished and shut down and could preserve his units, preserve the carriers, preserve the Void Rays. Like, Neeb was very efficient with what little he had. Very efficient. But let's go. As again, we're expecting something a little bit different this time at a Neeb. Whether we go into committed Stargate play, whether we go into earlier Blink. We alluded to this previously, but we have seen some very aggressive like 8-gate Blink builds and like 3-base all-ins. I would prefer that on a bit of a larger map. But we'll see what Neeb has been cooking up. He's been cooking, Pappy. Yes, from here we're going to be sending our first adept across the map. Likewise, still droning, still saturating. Last game, Scarlett did go for the faster Roach Warren and was able to get Roaches somewhat in time, but again, as you mentioned, it was still 16 drone kills.
还是两属，因为第一把两属确实是打出了不少东西，一直在骚扰。
We'll see if she goes Roaches again or into an Evo Chamber, into +1 melee. For now, we're fanning out our Zerglings. It is once again the Stargate opener out of Neeb. Again, for those that are curious in regards to PvZ, Stargate openers are still very much to the meta. They're still the go-to. After the Stargate opener, then there's obviously like a couple of paths you can go down. Stargate is the go-to. And as always, like you can always mix in like Twilight Council openers into Dark Templar or into Committed Glaives, into these quirky all-ins, but those kind of builds are much nicher, much more niche. Oh, nice figure. Catching out a probe. Scarlett does sniper probe, dips into the main base, confirms the Stargate, and may even confirm the first units. Oh, as the probe is saved. Yeah, this time Neeb saves the probe, cleans up all the lings, and it is once again Void Ray first. Now, the power of a Void Ray opener like this in a series is that game 1, it was Void Ray opener into Glaive Adepts. Game 2, Void Ray opener could be into Glaives again, could be into Charge, it could be into second Stargate, it could be into a third base, into Blink, into a standard game. The issue here is that Scarlett won't know, but I do like the idea of Neeb kind of keeping Scarlett in the dark and having her second guess herself and make it even look like the same game and do something different in game 2. But just keeping his overall build and style and this kind of shroud of ambiguity. Lotus hunted down. And what's it going to be? Neeb has options. There it is, a very fast Twilight Council. So fast Twilight Council, based on the timing of this Twilight Council, I'll be honest, it looks like Glaives again. It does look like Glaives, but I do want to give the benefit of the doubt here where technically like this could be early Blink, like very, very early Blink into a Gateway Explosion. Otherwise, Glaives should be the go-to. I mean, again, Rainfall's not a bad map for it. It's actually probably one of the best maps for it. Just like Rorschach. No, we're making a Zealot into Charge. Okay. Okay. So I believe this looks like it's a hero build. It looks like the hero build where you go mass Zealot into Charge into Oracle support. And you mass up Oracles. We'll see. I believe there's only one Oracle so far. Adepts do shade into the middle line, catching out 2 drones. Nice damage. Yeah, 2 drones so far. Getting up to 3. Oh, this is getting a bit out of hand. Can we get 4? No shot. Jesus. Okay. 3 drone kills behind this. Safety Roach Warren. This is at 550. Safety Roach Warren here out of Scarlett. Neeb does not continue Oracle production, but is going to mass charge. And without Banelings, Mass Zealot can trade well, especially with a low Roach count. +1 melee is on the way. This tells us that Scarlett does not want to make Roaches. Oh boy. But again, based off of what Scarlett's seen, so far game 2 looks just like game 1. Looks very, very similar. Meanwhile, 2 probe kills. Some counter damage dealt. Double Forge, okay. Okay. Double Forge, double upgrades. This should lead into Archons and Storm. Zealot move out. They get spotted. Yeah, they have been seen. Scarlett's aware. We have 7 Roaches in production. Now, what I will say is that this time, there's going to be a big counterattack available. Zealots, they struggle defensively. So, after Scarlett defends, assuming that she takes minimal losses, then Scarlett can instantly counterattack with Mass Roach. Zealots dive into the 3rd. Nice position here by Scarlett. Reduces surface area. Despite that, one of the queens will still go down. Let's get 1, 2 queens. Ooh, 2 queens do fall. And Zealot's get on top of another queen. That's going to be a 3rd queen falling. Nice stasis, very nice stasis here on the queen and on a Roach. But I believe Scarlett will hold. Yeah, Scarlett will clean this up. Plenty of Roaches. Minimal drone losses. And soon Scarlett will be able to amass an army to push out across the map, as we have Roach speed on the way. And I worry that Neeb did not do enough damage here. Neeb is behind. Neeb is behind. We can see Neeb is getting into Immortal production, Blink, +1, Temple Archives. There's a lot of tech on the way there for Neeb, and Neeb needs time, but the problem is Scarlett is all in. Scarlett is going for a reactive German taxi. Overlord Speed is on the way. We do have Drop Lords already morphing in. Mass Roach with Roach Speed as well. And Neeb should not be able to survive this. Like, no shot. Again, the Zealots just were not good enough. The charge lots. Scarlett is here to punish. Yes, it's a Void Ray for free damage, but that's what the Queens are going to be for. The Queens are coming. They're in the Drop Lord. Oh, until then, though, Ravager does snipe one of the Ravagers. Sorry, Void Ray snipes one of the Ravagers. Oh, Jesus. There's one. We have 2 more on the way. Queens, they have arrived. And Scarlett, it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. Does start the spread creep. And now there's 2 Immortals. Yeah, high Immortal count. Biles on one of the pylons. Pylon goes down. Going for the other as well. The Void Ray taking a lot of hits. At the same time, Link drop into the mineral line. Not bad. Gets into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. And Neeb doesn't notice in time. Tries to pull away. Tries to react. Neeb does actually take down all the Queens. Oh my god, the Biles. Oh my god. Biles, they snipe one of the Immortals. That should not have happened. And Neeb, he defends against the main army with 21 probe kills. 21. Again, so much damage in the bases. Insane economic damage. And again, I'm impressed by Neeb's main base defense. Like his, I say main base, main army defense. The main army fought well. But now Neeb is being outscaled. Losing too many workers. And Scarlett just needs to calm down. We just gotta calm down. Get out of the supply block. Saturate the bases. Build up the Lingbane Roach Ravager. And Neeb is in trouble. Neeb is in trouble, pappy. Again, the MVPs this game was the Link drop. The Link drops were the MVPs. Did so much damage. As Neeb clears up creep, Scarlett comes in from behind. Biles on the batteries. Sides both. And nice Biles here from Scarlett. Okay, we good. Yeah, it does pull away. We have so many Ravagers. Just Ling Ravager here from Scarlett. Blink is almost done. +2 is on the way here for Neeb. Scarlett does get supply blocked again. These have been some heavy supply blocks. And can Neeb recover? Okay, these supply blocks are slowing down Scarlett quite heavily, actually. She's missing her windows. Her timings. Neeb drops across the map, distracting Scarlett. Neeb pushing right through the center. This is a bold move here from Neeb. Minimal sentries, minimal force fields. We are deep on creep. At the same time, Scarlett does go for a massive Ling flood. Lings, they flood into the natural. Probe's going to be going down. We have Mass Ravager to defend. Shows the Bailings. The Bailings. Oh my god. Decent connections. Yeah, Bailings they connect. Zealots they get shut down. And Scarlett holds. Scarlett does hold. Cleans up the entire army. The Zealots go down. Immortals are exposed. Yo, F91's going crazy. I say that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we have reinforcements. Bailings they connect with the Stalkers. Biles on the prism, denies the warp in. 19 probes going down across the map. Neeb has nothing back at home. He has nothing. And Scarlett cleans up the final army. GG gets called, and Scarlett takes game number 2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Scarlett does type the series 1-1. does have the series here. Again, when it comes to Neeb's game, it was a really interesting game for sure, rushing into charge, but the reality is that Neeb fell behind. Neeb, that charge-based opener, did so little damage, and because it did so little, I mean, it meant that Neeb was that much more vulnerable against the counterattack, against the massive all-in from Scarlett. We saw that despite that, Neeb had a really impressive defense at the outside of the natural and third. Like, he had a really impressive defense. He did deflect the main army of Scarlett, but Neeb was not able to defend his mineral line. So we saw 21 probe kills, 21 probes, insane damage in the main and the natural base. The lane drops were the MVPs, and from there Scarlett was able to just snowball out of control. Neeb tried to recover, but just too much of a deficit. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a series. We have a back and forth, and we'll see who will claim a lead in this series. Let's go. Let us go. Okay, here we go. We're getting into the next game. Going to be loading into now one of the more standard size maps, if I recall correctly. Let's go. Was it at Attorney's Edge? Or was it Washout? We'll get there. We'll get there. Alright, we're good. So it's just setting. Oh, it was Washout. Okay, let's go. As spawning in the right hand corner of Washout, we have the blue Zerg player, the Canadian Zerg. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the American Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is Neeb for onside. Let's go. Let us go. We're tied up here 1-1. So I'm just trying to where the playlist, Pappy? Guess I'll just stick with this for now. As we're settling into the game, Scarlett does open up pool first. Okay, so pool first opening here by Scarlett, going into a delayed expansion. We'll see what Scarlett can achieve with this. I believe this is just going to be a bit of a safer start. We can maybe sneak out some lings, maybe apply some pressure across the map on the pylon. But outside of that, we are calming things down. Yeah, Scarlett's forced to take the unnatural natural. Oh, Scarlett coming back. You can see Scarlett shake her head. She was playing chicken. There we go. The probe finally leaves, and finally Scarlett can expand, but a very delayed nexus or hatchery here from Scarlett. Very late. And you can see Scarlett shaking her head. Basically what was happening was there was a bunch of juking and jiving, basically, where Scarlett, she was like waiting for the probe to go up the ramp, and she anticipated it to happen a couple times and went back in, then had to pull back out. She's like, can this probe just leave? So nice start for Neeb. Very, very nice start. As Scarlett's opener is a little bit inefficient as a result. From here we have the early pool. We have 4 lings moving out, but Neeb should be fine. Wash out, yeah. And so far, we've seen some quirky builds out of Neeb. Game 1, Twilight Council into Glaive Depths. Game 2, Twilight Council into Charge. Game 3, do we see another fast Twilight Council, or do we see something more standard instead? It's all been off of Stargate openers, of course, and we still expect another Stargate opener. Nice wall-off. Adept is on the way. The Adept should clean this up, and the pylon should be saved. Still, there's some nice hold damage on the pylon. Neeb does hold. Adept moves out across the map. As he moves out, behind us we do have our Stargate follow-up, as to be expected. Stargate into the Void Ray, we're assuming. Because we've seen Void Ray play Game 1 and Game 2, I'm not opposed to seeing it here in Game 3, and once again going for another build. Something different. Yep, there it is, Void Ray Opener. So now at this point in Game 3, there's a very high chance that we just see Void Ray Openers every game in the series. Every single game. But once again, it's all about what comes after the Void Ray Opener. Now, this is a larger map in the map for longer rush distance by ground compared to Rainfall and compared to Rorschach as well. So once again, we could actually see, instead of going into a fast Twilight Council, we could see a Void Ray into second Stargate or Void Ray into Fleet Beacon. I would expect that more so than on the other maps. We'll see. As the first Overlord is hunted down, we'll supply block Scarlett. Big supply blocks. Once again, fast Twilight Council. Okay, so Game 1, Glaives. Game 2, Charge. Game 3, Blink? is that all that's left? No shot, it's Void Ray into Dark Templar. No shot. 3 more gates are on the way. Again, because of this gateway explosion, like I'm feeling Glaive Adepts here, but I also felt Glaive's last game. Do we revert to a build we've already done here today, earlier in the series, or do we go into Blink Stalkers instead? Glaives. Okay, so Glaive Adepts here, reverting back to Game 1. Mass Glaive Adept. Meanwhile, Scarlett. Ooh, look at the tag. Okay, thank God. So, Lair first into Evo Chamber into a delayed Roach Warren, but thankfully there is a Roach Warren. Now, because it's a little bit later here, we're going to plus on melee into a more Ling-heavy style, but if given time, Roaches will amass, and that will be a much more secure defense. Ooh, as that should not have happened, the Oracle gets caught. Yeah, massive pick off. The Oracle does get caught out. That means there's no stasis traps or additional support from the Oracle. Glaive Adepts are amassing. Scarlett has yet to confirm. Scarlett is still in the dark. Oh, Lings they try to pick in. Lings are deflected. A Spire is now on the way. This is a little bit greedy. Yeah, this is greedy here. Oh, this time with Warp Gate. Ah, okay. Now she knows. Yeah, now she sees, now she knows. 24 Lings are on the way. Roach production has begun. But are these Roaches too late? Spine Crawler. Yeah, we're throwing down spines. We have to fully wall off. Adepts are coming. That's a lot of Adepts. We do see Neeb already transitioning back at home. Forge and Robo into Immortal production in a charge. And Adepts have arrived. Yeah, they have made it. They already focused on one of the queens. Gets one, commits to the shade, trades well against the Zerglings. Yeah, massive chunk of Lings go down, and this is going to be a rough hold here for Scarlett. Roach is now amassing, but the queens are exposed. Gets 1, 2, 3. 3 queens go down. Massive pickoffs. Boys, they have to be pulled away. But what's important here is still no economic damage. Not yet. Yeah, no economic damage. Adepts, they do try to shade away. And the Adepts, they're trading well for themselves, but still have not killed any drones. And that's all that matters. No drone kills. Now we have enough Roaches, and now soon Scarlett can counterattack. You might be looking at this and you might be thinking, oh, but Neeb, he's up in workers. True, he's on 69 probes, that is true, but at the same time, Scarlett should be getting ready to try to punish, and there it is, Roach speed is almost done. But there is no Overlord speed. Regardless, here come the Roaches. The army's being active. Behind the Scarlett does start to drone up, actually. Oh. Okay, so Scarlett's not committing. Scarlett's making 6 more Overlords, droning up, saturating. This means that Neeb has gotten away with it. Wow, Neeb, he gets away with it. So Neeb, he has dealt damage across the map. He defends back at home, claiming a 4th base. And instead, Scarlett going to be relying on Mutaplay. Lustation moves in. He's out. Ooh, Neeb, he sees the Spire. He's fully aware what's coming his way. We have 10 mutas in production. Oh my god, the Zealots. They're crazy. Yeah, the army comes in from behind, and we have some cannons on the way, but still no Phoenix production. Yeah, no Phoenixes. No shot Neeb's pushing with this army. Uh-oh. There we go. First Phoenix is on the way. Zealot run by a Templar on the right-hand side. Scarlett does fully wall off. At the same time, Neeb coming in towards a fourth. But this army isn't really built to deal damage. Not to buildings, at least. Yeah, Neeb's going to lose everything. Neeb's going to lose everything here. This is a big overextension. Void Ray goes down, Adepts go down. Immortal might be able to get away, but these are some rough losses for Neeb. Yeah, just a little bit too committed, a little bit too cavalier. I got too excited, Pappy, too excited. And with that, it all gets cleaned up. Scarlett's almost maxed out, and Neeb is left with almost nothing. Neeb has a couple of Phoenixes, a couple of Archons are on the way as well. Is a very rough position for Neeb. My one concern is that Scarlett's going to be too passive. Scarlett is harassing a little bit, but there is a little potential for more damage. We need the roaches. As mutas they poke in. Catching out 3 probes. I believe the roach army is outside of the third. Oh, gets a free immortal. Not bad. Does catch a free immortal. Commits further up the ramp. The immortal is still alive. But again, there's just barely an army here. It's what, 1 immortal, 2 archons, 4 stalkers. It's not much of an army. As the high-tech units go down, losing the immortal and the archon, just purely get units left over. And Scarlett has done it. Scarlett has broken the main army, pushing into the third. Came with the production. The Phoenixes are trying to trade with the mutas, and you know what they're trading? They're microing well for themselves, but there's only so much Phoenixes can do. Only so much. Now, as the third base will crumble. And GG gets called, and Scarlett will take a lead in the series, 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a really awkward follow-up specifically out of Neeb. Winding it back a little bit here, again, I'm not opposed to the build of choice here from Neeb. Unfortunately, Neeb traded well against Lings, but did not get any economic damage this time. This time it was a much cleaner defense from Scarlett as opposed to game 1, but the follow-up was a little bit odd. Neeb went into charge, into immortal production, and then went for a really awkward move out and lost everything, relinquished any kind of potential defense that Neeb could have had, which I thought was possible, right? Neeb, he retained his third base, he was getting a fourth base. Neeb had a decent drone count, but he needed time to build up these high-tech units, the Immortals, the Gateway Army as well. To push the way that he did would mean that there was just no build-up for Neeb. Neeb lost everything too early, and GG. GG well played. Just a really awkward push there. Maybe Neeb intended only to move out with the Adepts, but he moved out with everything. The Immortals and the Chargelots as well. Like, yeah, a little bit overly committed that early on, and it all just snowballed out of control. GG. GG well played. With that, Scarlett will take a 2-1 lead in the series, and we'll see what Neeb has in store for us for game number 4, because we have seen Glaive Adepts now twice in this series. First time it worked, second time it didn't. I mentioned this previously, I don't like the idea of doing the same build multiple times in a series when it's that like specific and that specialized. Game 4 is going to be at Eternity's Edge, and we'll see if Neeb has something else, right? Do we have another build here? Because so far we've seen 2 different builds in 3 games. Do we have another build available, or do we revert back to Charge or something else? What's it going to be? Show us your build of choice, Pappy. Just catching up. Bienvenidos, Papi, bienvenidos. Good evening, good evening. As again, this is potentially the final game of the series. Scarlett, on the flip side, we've been focusing a lot on Neeb just because Neeb has been dictating the pace of the game so far. Scarlett, for the most part, has been playing very safe and very reactive. At no point has Scarlett skipped the Roach Horn. Like, I feel like it's very, very important here in this series that we get a safety Roach Horn, even if we don't need it later on, just to be safe against these committed builds. Outside of that, has been looking relatively comfortable. Some of these defenses have been a little bit clutch for Scarlett, that's true, but so far has been looking solid. Outside of losing 16 drones in game 1, true. I mean, but again, the map favors that kind of play as well. That's the other thing, right? Like these aggressive builds, they can work better on the smaller maps. As we start to load into these larger maps, we should be seeing something different. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of At Attorney's Edge, we do have the Canadian Zerg player, the blue Zerg. It is Scarlett for Shopify. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player. We have the red Protoss for on-site. It is Neeb. Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting into game 4. Natural was getting late. It was, if you recall, we were referring to that. If you remember how there was like a lot of like mind games with the worker control, where Scarlett was trying to get her natural and Neeb was like not moving the probe at all. As you can see, Scarlett shaking her head. True. It was a messier start. True. Not wrong. For now, though. For now, we're going to be opening up. And welcome to At Attorney's Edge. Once again, this is going to be a larger map, longer rush distance by ground. Specifically, the distance between third and third base is shorter on this map, so I do like mid-game aggression, but I don't want to see more glaives. I don't want to see more charge. I don't want to see these builds we've already seen from Neeb. Again, like their time in the series has come and gone, especially now that we start to open up into these larger maps, and I want to see some more mid-game play out of Neeb. But we'll see. Again, the pressure's on Neeb. We'll see if he can recover and force the ace match. For now, Hatchcat's pool, unnatural, natural out of Scarlett. So far, so good. As from here, we're still expecting a Stargate opener. I don't know if Neeb is willing to play standard though, is the issue. I feel like if we didn't see it in washout, that we might just not see it, period. So eyes are on Neeb. Again, if you've been watching players like Hero as of late in this on this patch, like Hero's been playing around a lot more with fast mothership rushes. And he had a lot of success against Shin, if you recall. That was during the Tuna Cup. Not Mothership Rush into Sky, it's also Mothership Rush into like ground-based armies. Just for the utility that the Mothership provides. Now this Scarlett pulls out of gas. It has to move out. And once again, Stargate opener from Neeb. Does open Stargate. Oh, at the same time, Scarlett does dip into the natural. Wants a probe. Neeb should be opening up Void Ray again, but we'll take note if he does decide to go Oracle. Oh. Oh, as one probe does go down. Nice pickup here by Scarlett. Very nice pickup. As it ups, they do shade into the main. Oh, catching out 1, 2 drones. Not bad. Can we get 3? Oh, not quite. Yeah, not quite here. But 2 drones for 1 adept. Not a bad trade here for Neeb. And once again, Void Ray. So 4 games in a row. Void Ray opener at a Neeb. Doing it again. From here, opening a Void Ray. And we'll once again be paying attention to the Twilight Council timing. Just to reiterate, I don't want to see another early Twilight Council. Like, I don't want to see it. Ooh, that does shade away in time. Very nice. 2 HP Adept. Does shade away. Void Ray hunts down the Overlord. The initial Oracle is on the way as well. And we are looking for the tech. Oh. As there are no links in position, boys are being pulled and drones are going down, losing one more drone. Two? Oh, 2 more drone kills for 1 Adept. Once again, nice little pickups here by Neeb. And he's doing it again. God damn it. Fast Twilight Council out of Neeb. This looks like Glaives. Technically, this could be that charge build again, which I'm not too convinced by, but okay. There's a 3-gate setup. Oh, ooh, Neeb gets surrounded. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol by Neeb. Did leave the Adept idle. Was not on hold position. Sage wrap across the map, catching out 3 drones. And again, show us Glaives, Blink, or yep, there it is, Glaives. I was going to say Glaives, Blink, or Charge. Glaives are on the way for the 3rd time this series. It's time to run it back. Now, this is where my game's going to play as, oh my god, we're getting another 3 drone kills. 4 drones going down, no Spore, Scarlett's being punished for greed. Late Spores. Now, this is where mind games come into play. There is a chance that if you're in, okay, imagine you're in Scarlett's, in her mind right now. What are the odds that Neeb goes Glaive Adepts again after doing it twice in this series? And then maybe you skip your Roach Warren, but there it is. Roach Warren gets run down, but this is a very late Roach Warren. Remember, last game is around a 5:20 Roach Warren timing. This time it's at 6:20. It's a minute later. So these are much more delayed, and that may impact the defense. So much later this time for Scarlett. Adepts are amassing. Neeb does morph in those warp gates, getting ready for a warp in. Warping in 4 Adepts at a time. And now it's go time. Scarlet scouts. Scarlet does scout. Scout through down a Hydra, cancels the den. Does cancel the Hydra. We have 8 roaches on the way. And we can see Neeb rush into a flea beacon behind this. Not a robo. Going for the mothership. Same time, Scarlet needs a wall. Oh. And does wall off here. Barely in time. Queens they engage. Roaches are amassing. Ooh, massive stasis in the main. Okay, Neeb. Like, Neeb. Aside from this main push that's being deflected, the harass from Neeb this game has been on point. Drones have been going down to the depths. Station traps have been popping off as well. Neeb rushing the carrier. Double Stargate. Triple Stargate even. Adepts are deflected. Scarlet does defend. But it's been a shaky early to mid game here for Scarlet. It's been shaky. Has also a lot of drones and a lot of mining time. As Scarlet does go for the Hydra Den this time. Still trying to keep up with the Adepts. Oh, another stasis into the main. Scarlet this time does react. Scarlet pulls away. Mothership is coming. This switch is going to be brutal. As we're going to Phoenixes? Wait, what? That I wasn't expecting. We have 3 Phoenixes on the way. Especially against the mass Hydra that's going to be on the way here. I would have preferred some carriers, but I'm sure we'll get there. As Hydras are going to be ideal. Oh. See Oracle's Court. Infestation bits on the way. That'll be for Hive Tech and potentially even Safety Infestors. Remember, they can microbable Shroud without upgrades. The Shroud can help if there's no splash damage. Once again, Scarlet's rotating. Neeb is still... I'm still not convinced by the mass Phoenixes, I'll be honest. Like, I mean, at least the Hydra count is low. It is relatively low. Scarlett once again supply blocked. Pokes in, spots a mothership. Does spot the mass phoenixes. Going for the lift, and again, there aren't enough hydras here. Nice catch. Catching out 4, 5, 6 hydras. 6 hydras go down, and Upstate busts into the main. Uh-oh. Scarlett, her roach is out of position. Drone's going to be going down. Neeb somehow gets across the map. Catching up for workers, shading into the natural. Does come into the shade. Oh, has more drones go down. And this is getting messy. This is getting very messy at this point. 11 drone kills. 11 drones. We see Scarlett now done with, Neeb now done with mass phoenixes, going into mass void ray. Oh, a bit of a misclick. No. Yeah, it does misclick. Did not recall. Wasting the recall. That's still 14 drones. The phoenixes are popping up. And if it was just purely mass phoenix, that would be one thing, but now we have void rays. Void rays, now carriers. We do see Neeb is perfecting his Skytoss army. Working on it. Oh, mothership gets caught. Massive pickup. Very nice catch. And Neeb caught with his pants down. Wasn't attentive. Hydras, they commit in. Now there's no cloak. Yeah, no cloak, no slow zone. Scarlett taking a much better fight, and Neeb was about to stabilize. Neeb was about to start to max out into Skytoss, but lost the mothership, lost map control. This base will fall, and Scarlett can just keep pushing. Scarlett can just keep on pushing. Trading with the army. Pushing into the natural, denying +2. Yeah, +2 is going to be denied. We have Voiders trying to commit in, but again, we have so many Hydras and no splash damage. No target firing though. There we go. Does focus out all the Phoenixes. Now does go for the Voids. Catching out 1, 2, 3 Void Rays. Some heavy losses here for Neeb. Neeb technically does hold, but lost so many Void Rays, and they're expensive. Like, can't afford those losses. Neeb can't afford it. Not like this. Scarlett's remaxed. 22 Hydras on the way. Yeah, it's a lot of Hydras, and it was a really interesting follow-up here by Neeb, but as we mentioned, Neeb to get caught out in the open and to lose so much of those Skytoss units was brutal. So I say so much, specifically referring to the mothership, like losing the mothership. That was the first big domino that did fall. Yeah, Slow Zone does buy time. We activate Cloak as well. Hydra's forced to trade here with the interceptors. Detection is available. Scarlett's less respected though. Oof. Yeah, carriers, they trade well. Jesus. They fight back. Yeah, 3 carriers, they pop off. Scarlett commits with Hydras, going Hydra Viper. No Spire, which is a little bit concerning. Just to get ready for that tech. Here we go, Vipers have arrived. Just waiting for the abductions, waiting for the energy. And then it's go time. Then we can start to abduct the carriers. One at a time. Likewise, Neeb just cannot expand. Another base goes down. Scar moving in. Again, distracting well. Getting some cannons, shield batteries, forcing defensive warp ins. And we just try to push forward. Where are the Vipers? As we're still waiting for them. Yeah, just waiting for the Viper. We have Neural on the way. A couple of Lurkers randomly, sure. Why not? Is Scarlett taking too long is the question. Scarlett's been maxed for quite some time, and I've still yet to see the Vipers actually try to commit. influence any of these fights. Neeb is almost maxing. Vipers, now they move in. Scarlett was pushing to the 4th base. Storm zoning Scarlett away. There's a recall to defend. Scarlett does back off. Oh, gets one. There we go. One carry goes down. Nice pickup. Ooh, barely does get the carrier. And not enough Hydras. Wow, not enough Hydras here for another. Oh no, the High Templar. Templar, they run into the lurkers. The Lankers, papi. Ooh. As one lurker goes down, there's 2 left. Down to 2 lurkers. Scarlett trying to collapse in. Does abduct 2 more carriers. Very nice. Yeah, 2 more carriers go down. Recalling 3 more in. Another abduction. Sniping another carrier. Down to 2. 2 left. Oof. Yeah, these losses have been rough. Neeb forced a warp in back on the top side. Nidus into the main. Still waiting for abductions. And in the meantime, we're baiting out storms. Like Scarlett just baiting out more storms, baiting out more units. That storm is dealt with. There's soon to be 1 more storm here for Neeb. And Neeb can't keep up. Yeah, Neeb cannot sustain these losses. As that goes to the base. Again, for a moment there, it did look like Neeb was almost going to stabilize, but again, wasn't able to keep up, wasn't able to defend. Roaches are trading well for themselves, as we should be now done with roach production. It should be done. I'd be a little bit more comfortable if Scarlett did have a Spire. That's my one big concern. There is no Spire. But overall, Neeb is running out of resources. A couple of patches left in the bases. Oh, that was a kill not a cancel. Okay. Yeah, kill not a cancel. Scarlett does move in. Lunging forward. There are 5 High Templar. Storms are coming. With some well-placed storms, Neeb can win this fight. And is Scarlett trapped? So, there's a couple of things here. On the one hand, yes, Scarlett has a bank. Yes, Scarlett has map control. Scarlett is maxed out. On the other hand, Scarlett is stuck on a Lair Tech army. There are some Hive upgrades and there's Vipers, that's true, but Ling Hydra doesn't scale amazingly, not as the game goes on, not as Neeb maxes out. Due to these storms. Oh, no storms! Yeah, 1 storm towards the end. Show us the production tab. Yeah, Hydra's being overwhelmed on the top side. I just want to see if there's a Spire coming. There is. Okay, it only just now begins? Oh god, these are late. No shot. These Spires are so late. Scarlett now recognizing that she cannot win this with Hydras. But this is a late realization. Very late. Neeb is in this game. Like Neeb was dead in the water a couple of minutes ago, but Neeb has recovered. Scarlett was just stuck on Hydras. Storms popped up. Scarlett still has momentum and does in either base at least. Like there's still a lot of pressure on Scarlett, but Neeb is forcing further tech. Storm mainly zoning. Oh. We've got a flanking force of carriers moving out. Let's go. Very nice abductions. Gets 1, 2, 3 carriers. That's abductions. Ooh, as Hydras they get stuck in the storm. Meanwhile, another base goes down. Remember, there are no corruptors. Spires are just now finished. We have 21 more Hydras on the way. They're very inefficient. Oh, nice reductions. Two more carriers. Very nice. Down to 3. I mean, due to these abductions, I think it's still okay for Scarlett. I think she's at least trading well enough. If she wasn't killing any carriers, different story, but keeping the carry count low, it's still okay. Yeah, still okay. Speaking of another reduction, gets 2 more Archons. Ooh. Storm does zone. Once again, we have to respect the storms. Lurker behind the mineral line. 8 probes going down. Do you have another storm? We do. Oof. Scarlett tries to break through here, taking a lot of damage from the storms. Slow zone is activated. Another storm with the Hydras. And Neeb is trading well against the main army, but that's going to be 12 probe kills across the map. Oof. Yeah, another storm zones. Jeez. More storms. More storms connecting. Still a low carry count though, and that's making sure that Scarlett's army is still viable. If Neeb ever built up like critical mass of like 6 carriers, then I'd be scared, but only 3. Oh, gets another Russian. Gets 1 more. What a mass. Keep abducting. Keep going. It's still okay. It's still okay for Scarlett. Still abducting, still catching at carriers. I believe down to 2 carriers left. Two carriers, 2 Tempests. Again, limited Sky Toss. Haha. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't. Just because we were stuck on Hydra for so long, but made it work. We made it work. Oh. That's a lot of Templar moving forward at the same time as Neeb moves out. Scarlett moves in. Hits the natural. Catching up more gateways. And Neeb is broke. Like, Neeb needs a base. Needs to maintain that base. Maintain saturation. Even long distance mining, that's how desperate Neeb is. Neeb does land a couple of feedbacks. Overwhelms a harassing army. Neeb looking good. Okay, denies the gold. A couple of nice moves here for Neeb. I believe should be able to recall out of there. Oh. As the carrier is caught. Jeez, oh god, the storms. He's standing in the storms. Again, Neeb doing what he can, trading as best he can as well. But due to lack of economy and lack of bank, like it's just really difficult to envision a world where Neeb can take a fight, win a fight, then counterattack or recover and take a lead from here. There are some nice moments like this where we do catch out every single Hydra. Some nice moments, nice storms. We have another abduction. The final carrier. There's no Hydras. Where are the Hydras? Uh-oh. If only we had detection. If only. So a little bit messy there from Scarlett. Lurker's trying to keep up. Zealots a breakthrough on the south side. Archons a recall to the main army. And as Neeb is pushing, production's going down across the map. It's going down. And Scarlett pulls away, respects the storms. Once again within range. Catching up the Archons. Nice pick outside from Scarlett. Massive storm in the mineral line. Oh my god, the army gets trapped. Yeah, the army gets trapped. 26 drone kills. Insane damage here in the main or in the mineral line. Again, Neeb is trading very well. Even here, getting a couple of free lurkers.
他就是没出服啊！
A couple of lurkers, takes down an expansion, another storm of the lurkers. Another lurker goes down.
不会这种都输了吧？
Again, the trades here from Neeb have been impressive. It's just the economy, right? It's just the lack of resources.
那这种不会输吧？这种没道理会输啊！
As Neeb has to pull away, Neeb is running out of storms.
还是优势。
And Neeb is running out. There's the NG overcharge. Oof. Nice storm with the lurkers. Very nice, actually. If only there was an observer.
结束了吗？
DTs, they do warp in, but there's detection here for Scarlett. Neeb does clean up the ground army. I guess we can just mass power bomb. Okay, sure, we can abduct. Okay, it kind of works. There we go, catching another carrier. 0 carriers left. That was the final carrier for Neeb. Neeb is down to 5 units. He's down to 5 zealots, 2 tempests, and 1 mothership. That's all that Neeb has. And again, like, Neeb has been trading very exceptionally. Like, it's been very impressive trades here from Neeb. Microing his heart out, getting as much as he could out of these units, but GG gets called. There's nothing left, and Scarlett will claim the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Scarlett, she will claim the series. She will advance on. Again, Neeb did make Scarlett work for it, especially towards the end there in that final game. Winding it back here, I'm not fond of Neeb committing to glaive adepts as often as he did in this series, but here in this last game I do think the transition was much cleaner, switching into Skytoss. The biggest issue, as we saw, was unfortunately we saw very little support for the Skytoss army, and we saw that Neeb had a very hard time expanding and maintaining a 4th base, a 5th base, a 6th base. The base count was very low, and Neeb, he couldn't retain his carriers. Every time he built up to like 3-4 carriers, he would lose them to abductions, right? We had some key abductions from Scarlett to make sure that the Skytoss army did not get out of hand, and made sure that, again, that Neeb was stuck with what, like 100 supply for so much of that game as well, losing so many carriers, losing so many High Templar. Again, Scarlett had the economy to afford these trades, still got a little bit messy towards the end, and again, really impressive control out of Neeb, but GG. GG well played, as Scarlett will claim the series, and Neeb is out of Douyu Cup. GG. Whew. And GG well played. And running back to this game again, there were like a couple of really key moments with like the cloak from the mothership, or adept harass, oracle harass as well. Like in general, like the harass was on point there from Neeb, but unfortunately the follow-up tech was a little bit shaky after the glaive adepts, of course. Switching into mass carrier. Oh, even if you remember, like before mass carrier, it was mass phoenix, right? It was mass phoenix, then void ray, then carrier. Like I wasn't too fond of the idea of going all those phoenixes, but it was, I believe it was just Neeb trying to blind counter Spire Muta play, just because he didn't really know what was going on. He didn't scout whether it was going to be Spire or Hydrogen, so it took a while for that to really kick in. But GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Scarlett will claim the series, and now we're getting ready for our next matchup. Let's go. Getting ready. Just catching up. Neeb has been at 6 carries a couple of times, with the abductions keep killing him. I think there was a couple times where he got up to 6, but like I don't think he ever like exceeded 6 carriers. Like the abductions were, again, they were the MVPs. The MVPs for Scarlett. But GG. GG, well played. And I believe we should be having a winners interview for Scarlett on stage before getting ready for our next series, I believe. So we'll get Scarlett on stage. Once again, Neeb again had some interesting builds. As I mentioned before, I'm not too fond of sticking with glaive adepts for as long as he did throughout the series of that best of 5. But did mix it up a little bit here. Did make a series out of it, of course, getting up to game 4, and I can envision a world where we might even see a game 5 as well. But GG. GG. Oh. As we have our interview.
Hello， 各位现场以及屏幕前的观众朋友们，让我们把掌声送给 Scarlett， 恭喜她获得了比赛的胜利，进入到我们的决赛。好的，那 这边也是想问一下嘎姐，刚刚的最后一把其实前期是优势的，中期一度被对面打了回来，但最后是如何稳住，在最后一局比赛里面打得很焦灼，最后还是赢下了3-1，战胜了对手。
For the end match, we want to ask, you have a large advance in the opening area, maybe 10 minutes, but it seems not just turn to winning. The Neeb just maintain his his situation in mid and just transfer to the Sky Toss. And how you just make that not make that be a comeback and to be the win in the continue.
Others what in the first 10 minutes?
You have great advantage in the beginning.
I would say it's just easier to defend the depths this version. I actually practiced with Neeb 2 days ago before the group stage because we didn't know we'd be playing each other yet. And back then he always played Blink and I defended it pretty easily, so I thought he would be doing something different this time. And I kind of went into the match thinking that depths were a possibility. So I saw it pretty early. The first game though, I made a mistake with not walling off, so the depths got in and I took a lot of damage. But aside from that, I think it went pretty well in the defense.
他说这几天他跟 Neeb 有很多对练，所以他们两个都其实已经很了解了。不过有让他意外的是，因为 Neeb 在跟他对练的时候，一般都喜欢用 Blink 闪追来进行压制，不过他这次用了使徒，还是让他有点意外的。不过他还是很好的防住了。然后他说这个版本的话 ，P 去打这些空 T 啊，不是那个虫族去打这些空 P 开飞机的。还是有很多的优势的啊，所以可以很容易的就防下来了，不需要费什么力气。
确实，因为我们看到其实第一把的时候，Neeb他用的就是使徒一波转这个3vs，然后后续再出使徒的时候就被嘎姐都防住了，打得非常漂亮。那接下来嘎姐下一场比赛将会由奥里维拉对阵到 TY， 那他们两个的胜者就会成为你决赛的对手。你更想在决赛遇到谁呢
？The next match is about Oliveira versus TY, and which you want to meet at final?
Well, I think TY would be an easier opponent, but I think the crowd wants it to be Oliveira. I think it would be a very fun match, so I'll say Oliveira.
他说，其实从本身上
Play to the crowd.
TY 肯定是比较简单的那个对手，他肯定是想选 TY 的，但是他想给大家带来精彩的比赛，所以还是选李培南吧。
哇哦，那下一场比赛李培南就要登场了，让我们来期待一下精彩的对决吧。那我们现在先稍事休息一下，一会儿回来。
GG well played. Big shout out to Scarlett for claiming the series and for advancing on, and of course a big shout out to our translator and to our host as well for providing said interview. Interesting, I really appreciate that Scarlett illuminated the series a little bit for us, where she explained that apparently a couple of days ago before the group stage they were practicing with Neeb, and Neeb was playing Blink at the time, but having a harder time with Blink play, and that gave a little bit more context as to the series that we saw and as to even her perception of the series as well. As we were trying to emphasize, every game we saw safety roach warrants out of Scarlett, whereas typically like that is inefficient. It's usually inefficient to get roaches, even if you're not playing, if you're planning to play standard and get into the mid game. So a very, very safe play out of Scarlett, and again we did see Neeb find damage throughout the course of the series despite that and have somewhat of a back and forth, but in the end Scarlett was able to shut it down. GG, well played. And with that, we have our first finalist. Scarlett does advance on. Again, well played at Neeb. Of course, before we move on, the big thing for Neeb is whether or not Neeb continues to compete. Neeb, there's something a little bit different about Neeb compared to the other players here, and that is that Neeb actually joined onside in the lead up to this tournament. Now, whether he only joined onside to represent for this very tournament, that has happened before, by the way, where a team sponsors a player purely for a tournament and just for one. Whether that's the case, or if Neeb plans on sticking around and playing more and competing more and getting back into that competitive aspect of things, hard to say. You know, eyes are out for Neeb to see if he plays in other tournaments, even part-time as well, right? Like even just every now and then playing in like an open cup or something. We'll see what happens, as I didn't look too bad at all. Right now, of course, ZvP is in a stage of like an exploratory phase. I mentioned earlier that Hero was having a lot of success with with Mothership bishop rushes with ground armies instead. Here we had Neeb relying on glaive at depths. There are definitely other players that are, you know, practicing and trying out some other quirky builds just because standard play is as difficult as it is in ZvP. We'll see. We'll see. Regardless, we're going to be going on a break. When we come back, we'll have the TVT between TY and Oliveira. Scarlett having some fighting words saying that TY would be the easier opponent, so she wants TY to win. But at the same time, Oliveira would make for a more fun finals, especially with the crowd. I would agree 100%. I would agree. It'd be very nostalgic as well to see Oliveira in the finals of a tournament. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the TVT. Anything can happen. I do think that both TY and Oliveira have some killer TVT, at least historically. Best of luck as we go on the break and we come back with that Terran versus Terran matchup with TY and Oliveira. See you soon. See you soon after the break.